Casa De Klub. I like that. Nice.
Hey, we like that too, coming at you, something so brand new. We in a new stew, and the vibe so true, kinda like a Cy we had to go grab two. He with that Arizona Wildcat, in that upside down hat, and how many have I had stay with me? Round two. It's the price of admission on the Casa
You been though,
De
man?
Klub.
What are you up to? You're in the fall league right now, rehabbing the labrum.
Yeah, doing that. It was either fall league or winter ball, and Boris is like, just go to fall league. It's there. It's in your backyard. I live in Scottsdale now with both my brothers, and rehabbing basically. It's going well. I feel good. Finally, took a while, but I feel good.
Was that your decision between winter ball and fall league, or Boris just said, it's in your backyard, just stay there? Because you played in the fall league before, right?
Yeah, I played in after the 22 season. Yeah, it was my decision at the end of the day. My middle brother, and I was like, yeah, let's go play with him. We'll be sick.
That's awesome. What's the fall league schedule work like? Is it like a minor league schedule where
I
it's
think
6 days on and 1 day off, or is it constant like a big league schedule?
Yeah, it's 6 days. No, it's 6 days. You get 1 day off. I think it's usually a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We had Monday, and I think we have the next Monday off, so it's kinda random on between those 4 days on which one you get off.
Gotcha.
Um, but most of the guys aren't playing every day. There's, like I think each org sends one guy who's, like, a priority guy, and that guy, I think, like, has to play, like, 5 days a week, I
Okay.
think it is. And then outside of that, it's kinda like free game. So it started off like the first week was kinda like a spring training schedule because a lot of the minor league guys had, you know, 2 to 2 weeks to a month off before the fall league started, so it was like half games, and then now this is the 2nd or 3rd week, um, and guys are going 9.
Full go.
Is that weird for you though, playing against obviously everyone there, everyone who goes to the fall league's a great player, probably gonna be a major leaguer one day, but you've had big league time. Is it weird for you going back to play there?
No, because, I mean, I didn't play all year. Like, it's just I'm just excited to be out there. Like, the fall league is, like it's crazy because my team in 22, like, half of us probably over half of us made our debut that next year. And it was crazy just to see the amount of guys that, like, literally the next year were in the big leagues. So the talent's there, but, like, the fact that there's, like today, I think it was, like, 400 people in the stands, and it felt like a lot. Like, there's nobody at these games. And there's really good players in it. So that's surprising, but, I mean, like, I'm just pumped to be playing baseball and, like, feeling good finally because I mean, it's not fun being at that complex all year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
No doubt.
it's got to be a grind mentally, I'd imagine, having such a successful first full season in the big leagues last year, and then, obviously you get dealt a big blow in spring training and stuff. What was this year like for you, from obviously a lot of physical rehab and stuff, but the mental grind of that?
Yeah, a dogfight, but I mean a good one. I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be fun going into it, like, coming home, watching the games. I'm a little bit more fortunate because I have my house out here. My 2 brothers, one of them finished up ASU, and then he was just waiting for the draft, so he was living with me. I did my surgery in LA, and then I was there for, like, 2 months. I'm from Orange County. I did, like, the first 6 weeks of rehab with Dr. Elatrosh and his team, and then I came over to Arizona for the rest.
Nice.
And it was going good until I got a stress fracture in my rib. I mean, I was on pace to go on a rehab, like, probably, like, mid-August and then play September in the big leagues, and then I popped a rib, and that just threw it all off.
What actually happened going into spring training when you hurt your labrum? Was it on a slide?
So going into spring, I had, like, this weird thing going on where, like, at the end of last year, I tore my oblique, and I came back, I started swinging, I started this whole side started to burn, and, they didn't know what it was, missed a couple games, and I'm like, "Alright." I'm the type of guy, like, I'm gonna earn my job every single day. So and I kinda took it to the extreme, and I was taking ground balls, and I dove in practice like an idiot. Basically, I was at shortstop, dove, the ball was, like, high, it wasn't like a low dive, got air and just landed on it, came up and threw. I was like, "Oh, something's wrong." like kept taking ground balls, and then like went into swing, and I was like, dude, I can't, like it's messed up. MRI, and then they're like, you're gonna need to get there's like a flap that chipped off in there somewhere. That's gonna need to be filled and taken out, and then it's hard to see the labrum on the MRI. The doctor will make that decision mid surgery. So I'm like, hopes are up. If they did the flap, it was going to be like 2 months, and then the labrum was obviously anywhere from 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Um, so I came out of surgery. I'm like, "Do you guys touch the labrum?" And they're like, "Yeah." And it was just, I was
It was fried.
pissed.
Yeah.
Klubs, did you have a
Yeah.
labrum deal or no?
No, I never had any labrum stuff. I mean, I'm sure my labrum looks nasty on an MRI, like anybody that throws
Yeah.
ball. But no, my only shoulder stuff was capsule.
Yeah. Did you get surgery on that?
I didn't. I was already 30, 35, 36 at the time, and I actually saw Elatrosh, and he was like, if you were
Really?
if you were a 20-year-old kid, I'd probably tell you to get surgery, but where you're at right now, like just see what's left in there, kind of thing. And I managed through it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But it would be something where if I would have been in a different position when I got that injury, I would have went about it a much different way too.
Matt, you had such a good 23, like Klub said. I'm sure, after getting that time in the league in 23, I'm sure you had all the excitement and assurance that you could compete at the highest level of the big league. So it's probably a huge blow when you get injured and you can't even compete in 24. But sounds like you're feeling a lot better. I mean, how's it feel when you're going out there swinging every day and playing?
Really good. I mean, it's just exciting to get in there and grind and, fail and then be able to make an adjustment, like make those quick adjustments. That's the fun part for me is like, having success or failing and then making an adjustment and like it working, like just day to day, the day to day grind throughout the season that I wasn't able to do that. Um, like through the up and downs, just make adjustments and get a little bit better that day and find a way to win a game or find a way to be successful. Like that was the part that I missed the most is just getting out there and competing. Um, but I'm able to do it now. Like, and I don't even care what level it is. I'm just happy I'm doing it right now. No, I knew that we were good because we were all like very like-minded and in the fact that like we all like to work. Like me, Elly, Christian, Encarnacion, Abbott. I'm gonna miss guys, but like that whole crew, we were all in double A together. And it was like, I think our team was all right. We didn't make playoffs, but like we were out there every day grinding. We had fun doing it. I think that was the biggest thing is it didn't feel like that year didn't feel like it was, my first full year or Abbott's first full year or even Christian's first full year. Ellie had been in pro ball, but we all came from college and it didn't really feel like a whole long year because I mean, like we were just having fun every day. Um, but I mean, yeah, Ellie especially. I mean, you see him do some of the things like I've been seeing that since 22 is when we met up, played on the same team, but he's just different breed.
I mean, you could argue if you wanted to pick one guy to start a franchise with right now. I mean, he's got to be at the top of most people's lists. Dude's a freak.
No doubt.
Will you stick to second base moving forward, or are you going to play both next year?
I don't know. I'll play wherever.
Yeah, so wherever they tell me to play.
I mean, at UCLA, I played center and third that freshman year. I think I'm best at short or second. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna play defense. I'm gonna do it good wherever they put me.
Do you have a preference, like
Uh,
in a perfect
I
world?
enjoy shortstop the most because like the different kind of plays that you get to make, that backhand, the arm gets involved a little bit. You can get around the ball a little more at short. I definitely like short and then second and then wherever after that.
Yeah. You got two other brothers that were also drafted, right?
Yeah.
What was that like growing up, the three of you? Was there backyard brawls all the time? Was it, just playing baseball nonstop? Like,
All the time. Yeah, it kinda like, someone asked me the other day, like, "You guys fight a lot?" Because we were arguing in the cages over something. I'm like, "No, we don't really fight anymore," because like, one of us would get hurt.
yeah.
Like, there would actually be a punch thrown, but, like, growing up, elementary school, middle school, yeah, all the time. Wrestling, not really punches, but, like, over anything, there was a competition. It was, who could eat dinner the fastest, and then there'd be an argument over that, but, I mean, we're all best friends. They both live with me now. Sean's on the fall league, and then Nick's with the White Sox. and it's just great. I mean, they're my best friends, and I love having them around.
Did the McLain family roll up to a game and people are like, "Oh, shit."
I don't think so. I mean, we're all like 5'9" and under. I mean, Sean's probably the tallest, and he's maybe 5'10", so we're not very intimidating. But when we can play. So I don't know, that's a good question.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, you can tell just knowing all three of you, you guys are like the most competitive brothers in the world. I feel like there's just a lot of shit talking going on between the three McLean brothers at all times, holding each other accountable.
Yeah, yeah, you played against Sean, right, at ASU?
I played against both of your brothers, dude, because I was there for so fucking long. I played at Arizona for 5 years. So I played against you, played against Sean when he was at ASU, and then I played against Nick when he was at ASU. I think for a year. I may be wrong there. He might have been hurt, but he was definitely at ASU when I played against him. What is that like?
Yeah.
Have you ever asked your parents just having groomed 3 professional baseball players, potentially 3 big leaguers? Like, what's that like for both of them, especially your dad? I mean, it's gotta be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, they treat us like normal kids, like, they don't treat us differently because, like, it was always about my dad was always our coach growing up, and it was always about attitude and effort, and if you didn't do that, there was a punishment, whether it was, like, walking home from practice or, you get half your dinner or something like that. But, no, I we don't really talk about that stuff. I'm sure they talk about it with other people, but I don't ask them those questions.
Do you ever chirp though? Dish it out? You're like, "Boys, I got drafted in the first round twice, and neither of you can do it once."
No, we all chirp my dad because he played football at UCLA and then quit once he realized he wasn't good enough. But we always chirp my dad like, "Oh, there's no sliders behind that desk," because he works from home now. We say shit like that. Makes it funny.
That's
Is that why you went to UCLA? Because your dad went there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, big UCLA family growing up. Grew up going to the games. He played football there a little bit, and it was just my dream growing up. And then Sean didn't wanna go where I went because we played the same exact positions. We're very similar players.
Mhm.
And then Nick went to UCLA and then transferred.
How's that usually work? Are both your parents ever at one of your games at the same time, or are they splitting up every weekend to go watch you guys?
Uh, no, I mean, they watched from home a lot, but growing up, they would split. There really wasn't that many cases where they had to split, but when they did, they would, but they tried to make it, as much as they could. They came out this week to the fall league to get us, uh, to watch us play together on Saturday, and then they're gonna come out again next week, and then I'm sure they'll be out here all spring training.
What was your thought process what was your thought process between taking that, bonus and going to play pro ball or going to UCLA?
Yeah, like, going into that, I didn't really know I was gonna get drafted until, like, really late, or even if I was in consideration till, like, really late. I was, like, going to all those tournaments and stuff, and I would play well, but I was, like, ranked or the prospect rankings, I was lower, I wasn't near where I got drafted. I always performed well, and I always kinda thought I was better than a lot of those guys, and I mean, I didn't have an agent until, like, super late. I remember asking my dad at, like, one of the tournaments, I'm like, "Who's my agent?" "What do you need an agent for?" I'm like, "These guys are asking me who my agent is." And the high school season goes, I still don't have an agent, and then Boris comes along, and then I go with them, and then the draft comes. We had the conversation of, high school draft versus going to college, and, I decided really wanted to go to UCLA, basically outprice myself, and the Diamondbacks pick me, and they go right here, and, it wasn't enough. I mean, they offered me the full slot, and, it wasn't what I wanted, so I told them no, and then went to college. Had a rough freshman year, and then COVID was the second year, and then played well my junior year, and it worked out.
Was it a fairly easy decision after you had kind of set the ground rules when it got to being picked by the D-backs? Was it a fairly easy choice to say, "Look, I wanna go to school"?
Yeah, I mean, well, so I thought that I was going to sign on the day I got drafted. I was kinda like, "Sick, I got drafted, I'm gonna get what I want," and then I didn't hear anything until, like, the last week, and then all of a sudden it was like "Hey, we're like half a million short. You want to sign?" And I said, "No.
Yeah,
I told you what I wanted." And then it didn't happen. They just kept trying to say, "Are you sure?" And I was, "No,
they love to work against
good." And
deadlines.
then I went to UCLA.
What's Scott saying to you throughout that time? Obviously, you're an 18-year-old kid getting a couple $1,000,000 put in front of your face, and he was on board with you going to UCLA.
Yeah,
Because I mean, dude, like, I vividly remember being in your class and you got picked, and then you go to school. You were obviously other people have done
yeah.
that, but that was crazy.
One of the big things, like, it's even bigger now, is if you're a high draft pick out of college, you're going to high A or double A. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to do the rookie ball, low A stuff that the high school guys do. That was a big thing for me, so it was like, where did I want to develop? Did I wanna develop at UCLA, an hour away from home, with a bunch of guys like Moberg and guys I already knew, and have fun and go play college baseball and play for something? Or do I want to go to low A in the California League, or we were in Florida, and develop there? So it wasn't an easy decision, but it wasn't like very hard on the other hand when you say it like that.
Well, when you put it that way, you're talking about looking at it from a developmental standpoint. You're going to have better resources at a major
Yeah,
college nowadays, especially than you are at lower level minor leagues. Like the coaching's probably pretty
exactly.
similar. Like there's probably not a
And
lot.
now there's NIL, it's like you can get
Yeah,
paid.
I guess it just shows, I mean, you were banking on yourself, obviously pretty confident. You touched on it a little bit. What was that like, though? You turned that down, and then you go to UCLA, and to your standards, I mean, yeah, you had a rough freshman year. What's going through your head? Stress of a
Yeah,
19-year-old, I gotta perform after turning down that much money.
dude, like, I never really thought about the money. I was more so like, I gotta figure it out, like, just constantly, like, I gotta, like, turn a corner, just keep grinding, it's gonna turn a corner, and it didn't that freshman year until I went to summer ball and played on the Cape, and I played well. But it was tough, I was just kind of in that washing machine of, it's the first time I failed, where do I go? Didn't really have anything to go to, didn't know what a routine was, like a hitting routine, just kinda went in the cages and hit. Um, didn't know how to, like, use a scouting report and use that to my advantage. That was all new to me. Like, it was always just, you go in high school, it's like,
just let your
I'm
talent
just
shine.
better than the guy, I'm gonna
Yeah,
hit. Yeah, and it's like, now that playing field goes like this, and it's like, they're all coming for you. You were a first round draft pick, like, they wanna punch you out. And, um, just basically becoming a smarter baseball player from that year and using that to my advantage, using the failure to my advantage. So, I mean, it's not gonna be the last time I fail. Um
did doubts creep in at all? Did I make the right decision?
No, because I mean, I knew I had 3 years to figure it out,
Yeah,
and I mean, at the end of the day, the draft is the guys in your class, and all the other guys in my class, not at UCLA, but just around the country, I knew I was better than.
yeah,
I mean, I was playing, a lot of the other guys were not
yeah.
given the chance to play, so it was like, I'm getting experience here, like, I just need to learn from it, and
Mhm.
it was kinda hard to just turn a corner, like, mid-season.
If the position you were in happened now, you get drafted in the first round in 2024 out of high school, and you're committed to UCLA. You get 2.6 million from the D-backs. You think you're decommitting from UCLA and going somewhere else? Because you could probably get something close to that in NIL somewhere else, but probably not happening at UCLA.
At the end of the day, I think UCLA could have figured it out. If I
Push
think they
comes
would
to
have figured
shove.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It
would
does change the landscape of things
And
though, like you're talking about. Like it creates a whole new ball game of with the NIL.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a handful of kids nowadays that are like Matt's caliber of talent that opt out of the draft pretty early just because they know they're gonna get
Yeah,
a good amount of money to give them a cushion in college, and then they'll go develop, like
no
Matt
doubt.
said.
100%.
yeah, I mean, it's honestly a no-brainer.
Yeah. We gotta kick it off with this, Reds talk. Obviously, Klubs is a big Tito guy. I am
Yeah.
as well, Bear Down, Arizona alum, but, I'm sure Corey can give you a lot of insight. Are you fired up to play for a legend like Terry Francona?
Yeah, dude, I'm so pumped, and so is everybody on the team. Um, he got the job, and then he was calling guys, like, right away. He was in the complex all last week, got to meet him. Everyone's fired up. there's just different energy around the building, and I'm just looking forward to spring, getting everyone in the same place, and working towards a goal as a team. I mean, that's the most fun thing to do. Corey knows. It's like that's what everyone wants. He's been there, so it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear he's already in there. I feel like I'm honestly surprised he stayed retired for an entire season because he knows nothing but baseball. He's a junkie. He's going to be there, from the time the sun goes up until he's the last one there. He can't get enough of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's exactly what it seemed like. I assumed that walking into it, but it was like we were out there. He came to the fall league games. We were there in the mornings at the complex, and he was out there watching like the rehab guys stretch, introducing himself to everybody. Just the energy that he brought, everyone really felt it, and I felt it, and that's what you want to be around as a player.
For sure. Yeah, you're going to be hard pressed to find a manager that's going to make you feel more confident than he will.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to him 3 weeks ago, and he said he had no serious intention of going back to manage, but I could just tell that he missed the game a ton because it seemed like he wanted to get back in, and then 2-3 days later, the Reds announced that he was their manager, and he told us he had no idea when he was talking to us. So sounds like it happened pretty fast.
Really?
Yeah, he said it was.
Yeah,
it was
I
quick.
mean, that's funny.
I think there's a lot of similarities though between where y'all are at right now as a team, as an organization, and where Cleveland was when he took that job. I could see the appeal there to him of kind of having young, solid position players, good young pitching, and having a chance to grow that program.
Yeah, I watched that episode that you guys had with him, and like it makes total sense. I mean, we got the guys, we got the talent. We just got to put it together, and stay healthy. I think that's the biggest thing after this year for me is like realizing how important that really is.
Yeah,
You get a bunch of good players healthy for a long period of time, and good things are going to happen.
no doubt.
What did he say to you when he called you, Tito? Did
He
he
just
tell
said,
you
"What's up?"
did he pull a Savage? Are you playing center field this year?
No, he didn't. We just talked. He said he was going to come down because he was coming down like a couple days later to watch us play. Because there's another big league guy rehabbing in the fall league with me, and obviously all the other guys in the fall league, and just to introduce himself and meet us. So it was a quick conversation, and then we talked more at the complex, but we didn't talk about anything like that.
We'll wrap it up with a little lightning round. We'll hit you with some rapid fire questions. I'll kick it off with
Okay.
a little standard one. We got quite possibly one of the juiciest World Series of all time coming up. Who you riding with? The Dodgers are favorites, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tight series. Who you taking?
I think the Yankees will win. I think the Yankees.
Okay.
Love to hear that.
What was your first big league moment where maybe the lights shined a little brighter and you kind of got caught off guard by something?
I think the first place was just Boston. It was so loud, and it was like an 8 we were winning. We were either up or down like 7 or 8 runs, and the fans were just going crazy. I was like, "Damn, like this is sick."
Yeah, it's a good
'Cause the
environment.
game was kinda out of reach later in the game, but everyone was still there. It was crazy loud, and it was just like that was the first part where I was like, took a step back. I was like, "This is sick."
What about AZ life? What's that like? Where are you living? What are the spots you guys are heading up? I'm jealous. I miss it out there, and I can imagine you guys are, taking advantage of Old Town. What are your guys' favorite spots, and where's the pad?
I'm like South Scottsdale, right by Old Town, kinda, and
Convenient.
I like to go there and have fun. I like to golf. I hear nice. But yeah, I'm
we'll
not
leave it at that.
chiding.
All right, you're the captain of a baseball team and you got the first pick. Are you taking Nick or Sean?
Reggie, my dog.
Is that like, have you been asked that question multiple times? You just media trained to not give an answer?
You got an answer, you're just not gonna say an answer.
Yeah, he wants to say something. He just doesn't want to piss them off.
That's all right.
Well, we appreciate you, brother. You got a couple fans in us we'll be following this year.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.